The second and final aspect of my focus is the topic of judicial appointments. This topic is of paramount importance for the following reasons. Firstly, the very building blocks of the judicial institution are its judges. A judge must not only be qualified on paper, but must carry with him or her the right temperament, physical stamina, and the mental courage to deal with the high demands of the duties of their office. If the wrong persons are appointed, the very cause of justice stands to be averted. It is almost impossible to build a resolute and entirely independent institution if its lead actors are not poised to play the part required of them. Secondly, we cannot deny the blemish in our history. That was the 1988 judicial crisis. This one crisis itself tarnished the independence of the judiciary and paved the way for further incursions into the institution. In its aftermath, we also witnessed completely unsettling events that are known as the infamous Wikelingam tapes. Most heinously, revelations were made that certain persons were literally deciding on who should become judges specifically as a means of reward, as though appointments of judges can be used as bargaining chips. This event called for an independent judicial appointments process to ensure that tarnished candidates do not stand a chance of appointment. Prior to 2009, the judicial process was rather simplistic in the sense that it was only based on a few provisions of the Constitution. Without getting too technical, when it comes to the appointment of ordinary Superior Court judges, the Prime Minister tenders his advice to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong upon consulting the Chief Justice and after conferring with the Conference of Rulers. This process underwent a radical shift in 2009 with the introduction of the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009, which established the Judicial Appointments Commission, or it is most commonly referred to JAC. What I am about to share with you next are not my personal views, but actual discussions that took place in the Dewan Rakyat regarding the passing of the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009. The need for the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009 were grounded on many allegations and attacks against the government. Pertinently, many members of the opposition appeared to express the sentiment that the introduction of the bill to the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009 was merely a cover-up for all the past appointments that had been made. I invite each and every one of you to scrutinize the Hansard for 16 December 2008 and 17 December 2008. Most of all, I find relevant the views of the then recently appointed leader of the opposition and current Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Anwar bin Ibrahim, who expressed strong views on the Wikelingam incident. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim concluded then that the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009, in his view, was not enough to restore the independence of the judiciary. He went on to observe that there is a perception that persons who had decided in favor of the government were promoted. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's observation then relates directly to the fundamental aspect of judicial independence, in that perception plays a big part in it. The public cannot be expected to have confidence in the judicial institution, no matter how hard its judges work, if the pervading public perception is that judges are appointed or elevated upon the favor of making decisions that by default support the government of certain business interests. When things like this happen, it is very similar to, if not worse than, the lessons in the children's parable of the boy who cried wolf. Cried wolf wantonly could backfire when no one believes you, when the wolf actually arrives to eat the sheep. Applying it to us, making the irredeemable mistake of rendering one decision colored with bias or appointing one candidate that is only chosen as a favor throws into question the integrity of the entire judiciary, and none of the decisions delivered after that will engender the public confidence and trust, even if that decision is absolutely correct on the facts and the law. It takes decades to instill a steady level of trust and confidence in the judiciary. Judges work hard with considerable commitment towards this end. And since 2016 until now, that goal has largely been realized. Malaysia has improved on all major rule of law and judicial independence indices. In 2023, Malaysia ranked 55th out of 142 countries worldwide in our rule of law ranking, being among the minority of countries whose rankings improved in that year, a significant 23-place improvement from 2016. It is important to acknowledge that these are not merely statistics or empty figures. They denote the reality of how the country is viewed for purposes of investment and are requisites for economic and social progress. The best evidence of this is the research of the 2024 Nobel Prize winners for economics, whose research can briefly be summarized as empirically demonstrating the importance of strong institutions, a key one being the judiciary in fostering long-term and sustainable economic growth. To maintain this reputation, it is imperative that judicial independence, which is central to the rule of law, be upheld and enhanced. From 1988, it is only now that we are on the road to recovery in terms of our perception of independence. Incidentally, 15 years ago, when the Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2009 was enforced, the then leader of the opposition made the comments that he did, as reflected in the Hansard on the appointment of judges and judicial independence. I am certain that now, as Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his government will remain true to those comments by continuing to unreservedly remain committed to upholding the cause of judicial independence.